Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be reviewing The Battle of the Labyrinth, aka Book 4 in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. So anyways, yeah, let's just jump straight into the summary. The Battle of the Labyrinth begins with Percy in freshman orientation for high school. And of course, Percy going to high school is no small event to be missed by some mythical monsters. So, of course, while he's in orientation, he is attacked by some monsters called Impausa, or Impausa, something like that. One is the plural of the other, but I forget which one. So, yeah. Anyways, after he escapes with the help of a special human who can see through the mist, Rachel Elizabeth Dare. Technically, she was introduced in the last book, I think, but it was kind of irrelevant to the storyline, and it would have just lengthened the video a lot if I tried to explain her there, so I'm just going to introduce her now. Anyways, so Rachel Elizabeth Dare, she's a special human who can see through the mist, and she helps Percy escape, basically. Then Percy is met by Annabeth, and they go to Camp Half-Blood, where Annabeth receives the latest life-threatening quest of the book. And this time, the quest is to go into the ultra-dangerous labyrinth with Annabeth, Percy, Grover, and Tyson into the super dangerous labyrinth in order to find Daedalus's workshop. And Daedalus, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing his name right, is a old genius inventor guy who could either help Kronos' evil arm infiltrate Camp Half-Blood via the labyrinth, or he could help the good guys, Percy and crew, defeat the evil army by trapping them in the labyrinth. So yeah, but it's gonna be really dangerous for Annabeth, Percy, Grover, and Tyson to go into the labyrinth because the labyrinth is like shape-shifting and full of monsters and hazards and booby traps and all sorts of fun things that could definitely kill you. All that to say, the labyrinth has like a 99.9% chance of death if you dare to enter it. So the question is, will Percy and company make it out of the labyrinth alive? Or actually, more importantly, will they be able to convince Daedalus to help them against the evil army? You'll have to find out. Okay, moving on to the super spoiler summary. So again, non-spoiler people, head to the description, click the timestamp there, and it'll take you forwards to the morals where there are no spoilers. So anyways, let's get started with the super spoiler summary. So it turns out that to get to the labyrinth, they need a guide that happens to be Rachel Elizabeth Dare. That's her full name. Every time I'm just going to call her Rachel, because apparently her abilities as a human to see through the mist is what's going to help them get to the labyrinth and without switching all the paths to the labyrinth won't be able to deceive them as easily. They enter the labyrinth with Rachel. They finally make it to Daedalus's workshop, but it turns out that they're already too late. Luke has already been there and gotten the string that leads a person through the labyrinth already. And so basically now Luke is set to invade Camp Half-Blood and destroy it. And of course, as soon as having this conversation, then the ghost of King Minos busts in. And Minos is, like, if you read the original myth, King Minos was the guy who the people going through the labyrinth to die originally, but then Daedalus thwarted him or something like that. I can't remember the exact story. But anyways, King Minos, the ghost of King Minos, is here along with Nico D'Angelo, and apparently Minos has agreed to help Luke in return for Daedalus's head. Fortunately, however, Nico manages to use his powers as a son of Hades to send Minos back into the place where the dead spirits are, I guess. And then Percy, Annabeth, and Nico jump out of Daedalus's workshop on some metal wings that he's invented, and they make it to safety. And so, unfortunately, Percy witnesses Kronos being reborn into Luke's body. So now, yeah, Kronos is living in Luke's body, which is definitely something worth being scared about. So they escape, and they somehow manage to find Grover and Tyson, because they had split up previously, but now they find Grover and Tyson. Then they find the god of the wild, Pan, who is apparently dying, and apparently Pan is dying, and when he dies he passes on his spirit to all of the people there: Grover, Annabeth, Percy, Tyson, Nico, and Rachel. And so anyways, they hitch a flight back to Camp Half-Blood on the flock of Pegasi, where Camp Half-Blood is under attack, of course, by the evil army from the Labyrinth. And after they defeat the evil army, Daedalus decides he must die because the Labyrinth is tied to his life force, and the Labyrinth can't really be allowed to keep on existing. So Daedalus dies, and the Labyrinth is gone forever. So anyways, Percy spends the rest of a happy summer at Camp Half-Blood, and it's his 15th birthday. And at the end of his 15th birthday, he gets visited by his dad, Poseidon, who gives him a birthday gift, and then he talks with Nico about a way to kill Luke. Actually, no, he doesn't really talk about it. They're going to talk about it at the end of the book, but yeah. Anyway, so that's the end of the Battle of the Labyrinth. Yeah, there's actually a lot of other stuff that happened, but again, it would just make the video super long if I were to say all of it. So I only said the stuff that was necessary and relevant to the plot. So anyways, let's get on to morals. Welcome back, non-spoiler people. So yeah, straight into worldview. Of course, Rick Riordan is not a Christian author. I have said that many times before in all the previous reviews of the rest of the books in this series. Again, the primary worldview is that you obey the gods or something bad happens. I didn't find any other prominent worldviews in this book. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Moving on to foul language. There were no bad words in here specifically, and there's the whole like Percy Jackson joke thing, the oh my gods, that like appears quite a few times throughout the book. Actually, it doesn't appear as a lot in this book. Actually, I didn't find it a whole lot here. But yeah, basically it. There aren't any other bad words otherwise. Moving on to violence. There is some violence, definitely like quite a few action scenes, fights, stuff like that. There are also, but I mean nothing overtly bloody or gory. I feel like it's violence, but it's like kiddie violence, you know what I mean? Like it's not, it's not really like total intense sword fighting scenes. It's more like slapstick comedy violence. I don't know. I don't know if that doesn't even make sense, but yeah, it's the violence here is not like gory or super bloody or whatever. So yeah, moving on to romance. So there's not a whole lot of romance in this book. I'm gonna be very indiscreet for, no, I'm gonna be very discreet for spoilers, but there's a love triangle that starts developing here, and I'm not a huge fan of love triangles. I feel like they just make everything totally more complicated. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you who it involves, but just saying, and there's nothing inappropriate here in terms of romance. Oh, there was one mention of something, but I'm gonna put that in the description below so you can click on it and read it if you want to. But yeah, other than that, nothing else inappropriate or whatever. So moving on to alcohol. I say this like every video because this guy does show up in every book, but I'm just gonna mention that the god of wine, Dionysus, appears throughout the book. I think he only appears like once or twice in this book, I think. Anyways, but yeah, so Dionysus is the god of wine, and yeah, there's no like drinking scenes or whatever here. He just like appears. So I thought I just mentioned that, and we'll leave it at that. So moving on to my rating and recommendation. No, my rating recommended age level. I'm gonna rate this book 4 stars. I think I rate like pretty much all of the books in the series 4 stars because yeah, I feel like they're all pretty similar in terms of like reading level, action, suspense, the quality of the writing, whatever, and I like it. I do like the storyline. It's very engaging and funny. Yeah, just the only thing, again, I've said this in the past 3 videos of the series, my recommended age level based on the reading comprehension is 11 to 12, but my recommended age level based on the maturity level is 12 to 13 plus. Again, because I feel like since I mentioned so many like Greek mythology elements and just all the things I mentioned in the morals, it's better suited for 12 to 13-year-olds and up. Again, not to say that an 11-year-old cannot read this, but I'm just saying my personal standpoint is that I recommend like 12 to 13 plus in order to read this. But yeah, other than that, that's all I gotta say. I liked the Battle of the Labyrinth a lot, and yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next week to review the last book in this series. So yeah, see you guys then. Bye!